Hey guys, it's Cameron with Venus Theory, and today we're here to do kind of an FM style tutorial. This is my first request, so yay! This comes from OMSTRB. I will drop a link to his channel in the description. He's got some Ableton stuff and some gaming stuff, Dark Souls 3 in particular, so good on you, Mr. B. That's a great game. This was kind of a cool idea he left in the comments about some FM style stuff, but doing it like sine compression stuff. So I did experiment with this a little bit before the video, and that's what I have up right now. So let's get started. So we are here in Cubase, and this is the track I've got set up. So I'm going to go ahead and play this for you now. So actually a really cool bass. So I'm glad I got that comment and that idea kind of sparked in my head. The bass by itself sounds like this. And the actual sample used to make this is this right here. So I was kind of stupid and deleted everything I used to make this, so sorry. But anyways, it doesn't really matter because we're more talking about some core concepts and ideas, and then I'm gonna kind of just do a brief recreation attempt at this. Yeah, so let's get started. First, we need to know what is FM synthesis. So FM, in its simplest form, is pretty easy to explain and pretty easy to visualize. It does get more complicated, but like most things, it's really as complicated as you make it. So the most basic definition of FM is it's kind of like a vocoder, but different. You have a carrier wave and a modulator wave. One wave modulates the other, the carrier throws it all out into the world. So FM8 is just a straight up FM synth. That's what it does, end of story. So if we play this right now, we just have a sine wave. And if I turn on operator E here and FM operator F with another sine wave, basically nothing happens, there's some more harmonics. But to really hear this, what we can do is change this to 2, and that does this. So you can hear it's kind of like a bell, but if I FM the other one, so if I FM E with F, we get this. So it's basically the same, but it gets a lot more interesting. And it's a cool way to make some cool basses. So if we take F here and we just bring it on down an octave, and we bring other one down again an octave, and then just slightly detune them. So we'll go like maybe that-ish, and we'll change these waveforms. So F, we'll make that into a saw wave. E, we can turn that into soft square. Sure, and this is what we get now. And then, we could output F as well. You could do all sorts of crazy stuff. And this is a great way to make some really interesting basses. And this is actually why you see a lot of these tutorials done in Ableton, because Operator is an FM synth. But FM8 is pretty much the same thing, it just doesn't have all the features of Operator. Moving along. We're gonna go ahead and get started with Serum today. Pretty much as always, it's kind of my go-to for just about everything. And we're gonna go ahead and get everything rolling. So let's start over here somewhere just to get everything out of the way. So we'll go ahead and draw ourselves up some stuff and get started. I'm not gonna go super in depth with everything because this has been covered in previous tutorials. If you haven't seen those, you can check out my sine compression tutorial and then my sine square combo tutorial kind of touches on some other ideas. So we're gonna get started, and we're gonna take sub oscillator, get that going, and we're going to get our oscillators going. So if memory serves, what I did is I took a pulse mod waveform. I think it was this one, something like that. Cool, sounds good. And then what we're going to do is use, I believe it was under my virtual riot tables. So I'm pretty sure this was it. If it's not, it doesn't really matter because, like I said, we're just addressing some things here. So what we want to do is go ahead and get up some detune. We'll probably use 2, something like that. Let's give her a go. Sounding good. And then we're going to take the level of this down. All I want this to do is FM oscillator A. So we're going to FM from B. And we're going to turn this up. Sweet, that sounded pretty nice. Now what I want to do is modulate this to kind of cycle through to get some different things going. Cool. Let's try a different pulse mod. Maybe this one here might be good. Cool. And actually, I'm pretty sure this is exactly what I did. So that's great. We're off to a good start. Detune this just a bit more. Sounding good. We need to bring up some levels, so we're going to get a compressor and just drive up the gain a little. Perfect. Make sure everything's down an octave. Looks great. All right, moving along. We're going to go ahead and set up our compressors and such here. One thing I think we're going to do, actually, is filter out a Serum beforehand. So we're going to go to our flanges here and grab phase 24 minus, drop the mix a hair, drive it up a bit, probably turn down the master, and we're going to turn off quick controls real quick, and we're going to shut off WoW 2 for now. And we're just going to assign mod 1 here to go to the cutoff, find a good range, and write some automation with it. So let's go ahead and check this. That's great. So we're going to learn. Perfect. And now we can move along. So let's go ahead and write some automation for that really quick. Perfect. There we go. And now we can go ahead and start getting set up with our quick controls and get rolling here. So we're going to use WoW, and we're going to use a notch filter. No surprise. Boost our volume, set our resonance. Perfect. And we're going to do all my cool quick controls. So, I didn't really talk about this, and I'm probably just going to cover this in a separate tutorial, but quick controls in Cubase are like the greatest thing ever, and it makes automation and stuff so much easier. So I'm probably going to do a tutorial on that sometime. This doesn't require that you have a controller, but basically the point is to use some kind of MIDI controller with this. So that's enough babbling for now. Let's go ahead and write some automation and get going. Great, and I think we're done with that. So what we can do is go ahead and glue everything together here. And we're gonna go ahead and go to Edit and Render in Place. Sweet, now we're gonna move along and do it again. So what we're gonna do is just copy our inserts over. Great, and we're gonna go to Quick Controls, and we're gonna learn our insert here. There we go. All right, and now we're gonna write more automation and do it again. Sweet, and that looks good. One thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and do another WoW filter here. And we're gonna learn this to the second quick control. All right, there we go. Now we can figure out which low pass we want. We'll probably do 4-pole, probably is good. Don't really need any resonance to it. Make sure our volume's up. Alrighty, and now we're gonna go ahead and write the automation for that. Cool, so just so you guys can keep up here and see what this sounds like so far, this is what we got. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing. So we're gonna edit, render in place. Dope, this guy's looking pretty funky so far. So in terms of what the FM is doing, and you know why this was kind of a cool idea, as you can see, we're getting some really, really interesting waveforms and lots of weird phase things going on and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and just keep moving along here and doing the same thing over and over. The bass in the beginning, if memory serves, and mind you, it usually doesn't, in the beginning that was after about, I don't know, 11 cycles of doing this. So basically it's just a matter of experimentation and doing different things in each stage. All right, now we're back again. So to see what this sounds like so far, we're gonna go ahead and play it again. This is what I got. And now I'm gonna do another notch filter, and we should be good to go to move on to the next stage. Okay, that sounds good. So we're done with that, and this is what we get now. So it's starting to get that really cool Neuro-y quality to it. So we're going to render it and do this again. All right, that's sounding pretty cool. I think we're gonna go ahead and throw in another low pass wow here just to kind of keep things tame because I don't want the high end to be too much. Cool, and that's sounding good. So this is what we got so far now. So that's neat. And again, this came from this. That's all that sound sounds like. So we are missing some of that high end now, but now we're gonna go ahead and start reintroducing that. So we're gonna render, and now we're ready to start bringing in the high end and doing some other stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and just grab another H comp here just to kind of keep things nice and glued together. We don't need that much drive though. We're gonna do like +9-ish on this one. Now we're gonna start doing some stuff to get that high end out. So let's go ahead and grab, so that didn't really work. So I think we're gonna go ahead and do the old bass amp trick. So this is actually kind of sounding neat. But obviously it's killing everything, so we need to set this up in parallel. There we go, that's sounding good. So now all we need to do is just record it. So we're gonna go ahead and set up a group. And once again, why I'm doing this and why I'm doing this way is covered in my sine compression tutorial. So you can check that out for a little more information on why I do what I do. Cool, and now we're ready to move along. So we can go ahead and mute all this stuff. Got our bass here, so we're just gonna go ahead and trim this guy up a bit. And you can see it kind of died out, so we just need to bring it back to life with, you guessed it, another H comp. So we're gonna grab that guy, throw it in here, grab ourselves a wow filter, and probably go for a multiband dynamics. So we'll go with C4, always good for this, and bring in some of that high end. Okay, so that's sounding good. We could probably get an EQ in here to kind of bring that out a little more. All right, this is working well. Let's get our quick control set up and do some automation. Cool, that's sounding good. I think we're gonna go ahead and do another pass with another wow filter that's gonna be set up after everything else. All right, that's working well. And I think we're gonna toss an H comp after this to bring it all back up. And this is what we've got. So that's a pretty cool bass. I think we're gonna go ahead and export this guy, toss her into Contact, and see how it goes. All right, so now we're back. We're gonna go ahead and get Contact ready to go here. All right, now we're back, so we're gonna set this to sampler mode. Everything should be good to go because this is my little pre-made instrument. I'm gonna go ahead and just take a wild guess at some extra processing here that this guy's gonna need. All right, and now we are back. So that's kind of the bass here. I'm gonna go ahead and set it up in that loop I made earlier. And we'll go ahead and mute our other one. We'll send this guy through the side chain. And we can see what we've made, thanks to Mr. B. All right, we're back and we're ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and just turn this guy down a bit because it's way too damn loud. And we're gonna go ahead and give her a whirl here and see what we got. So really, really cool bass. I very confident that this would work well with drum and bass. So I'm gonna set up a quick loop and just show you. Mr. B actually does a lot of drum and bass stuff from what I gathered off his SoundCloud, which I'll probably throw another link to because you guys should definitely check that out. And, you know, drum and bass is always fun. It's one of my favorites. And we can go and just try this over a little drum and bass loop here and see what it sounds like. So I'm just gonna shut up and play now. So yeah, overall a really, really cool bass. For drum and bass, I would definitely process it a little differently, but so yeah, that's kind of what it would sound like with some drum and bass stuff. OMSTRB SoundCloud has a lot of D&B, and it's one of my favorites, as I mentioned, so, you know, that's really cool. So I think that about wraps it up, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, like and subscribe, and if you have any other ideas or suggestions for stuff to do, I'm always down, so go ahead and drop a comment below or inbox us, and I'd be happy to get around to it. So thanks again to OMSTRB. Be sure to check him out, guys, and I will see you guys again soon.